The exam was supposed to be the last obstacle standing between me and the summer break I had been desperately looking forward to, but as I walked into the classroom, I felt the gnawing anxiety of an impending disaster. I hadn't studied nearly enough, and the pressure of passing hung over me like a dark cloud. I sat at my desk, trying to calm my nerves. I was already in trouble. Half of the semester's grades depended on this one test, and I had been doing poorly in all the previous assignments. My thoughts were a blur, running circles, until I heard a voice.
"You're not ready for this, are you?"
I looked up sharply. Standing next to my desk was Noah, my classmate. He was the kind of person who could walk into a room and immediately draw attention. Tall, with dark hair that always looked effortlessly messy, and eyes that had a way of reading you without saying a word. Noah had always been a bit of a mystery. Everyone knew he was smart, one of the top students in the class, but his personality was hard to pin down. He was friendly enough, but distant just enough to make you wonder what he was really thinking.
"You're not going to pass, are you?"
He said again, his voice low, but with an edge of amusement. I froze. "What are you talking about?" He smirked.
"I mean, you've barely opened the textbook in weeks, right? How do you plan to pull this off?"
I swallowed hard. He wasn't wrong, but before I could answer, he lowered his voice even further.
"Listen, I could help you out, if you're desperate enough."
I looked up at him, confused. "Help me? What do you mean?" His gaze flickered over me like he was appraising a piece of property.
"I can give you the answers, a few hints, maybe a cheat sheet if you're lucky, but there's a price for that."
My stomach sank. What kind of price? He leaned closer, his voice barely a whisper now.
"You know, nothing too complicated, just a little favor."
I blinked, unsure if I had heard him right. "What are you talking about?" Noah smiled slowly, and the intensity in his eyes made my heart beat faster than it should have.
"Let's just say I need something personal, a bit of a trade-off. You do something for me, and I'll make sure you pass this exam. Easy, right?"
The words were still sinking in, but I felt the heavy weight of his proposition. The idea of going out with him, exchanging that for my future in the class, felt wrong on so many levels, but the desperation to pass, to escape the punishment from my parents, the embarrassment, the shame, it pushed me to the edge. He watched me struggle with it, and his smile didn't falter.
"No need to decide right now, but think about it. I'll be around."
And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving me alone with my thoughts. The clock ticked on, but the exam felt like an afterthought. I was frozen, caught in the pull of Noah's offer, the weight of his threat pressing down on me. The next few days were a blur. I couldn't focus on anything except the decision hanging over me. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Noah's face, that sly grin on his lips. I tried to push the thought away, to pretend it wasn't happening, but the truth was, I felt cornered. Noah wasn't just offering help. He was holding my failure over my head like a weapon. If I didn't give him what he wanted, if I refused, I'd be ruined. My entire future would be stained by the failure of this exam.